Hey guys, so I just wanted to start out and explain why I'm wearing this crystal crown. I've been wanting one for like ever, and I decided to make one for myself yesterday, and I just don't want to take it off. So I felt like what other time to use it than right now when I'm making this video for you guys. Anyways, so I wanted to talk about my whole journey in going vegan and what really made me make the switch and how I stuck with it and how it's progressed and everything I can really give you about what happened when I went vegan. It all started when I watched the documentary Vegucated, which this is like super old school. Essentially what happens is the girl that's running Vegucated got like 5 or 4 different people through Craigslist ads, asked them to go vegan for like 2 weeks or something so that they could film it. And so it was all different people from all different walks of life, and I feel like the reason why that one really did it for me is because I got to see just other people doing it and going through the experience, and you know, she shows a lot of products that we already use that are vegan accidentally. And so honestly, like one of the ones that really got me was Oreos. Oreos are like accidentally vegan, which now with the whole everything that's coming out about palm oil, kind of iffy. But anyways, yeah, Vegucated was really the documentary that kind of got things going for me. And then as all the other vegan documentaries and veggie documentaries came out, that really like opened my eyes to it and kept me going through the process. But Vegucated was the first one that really was like, oh, I need to do this. When I first did this, I did it as more of a 30-day challenge. So I didn't want to make it this big deal. I just said that I would do it for 30 days, and worst case scenario at the end, I would reward myself with a cheeseburger. That was literally my thought process at the time. So I kept going, and the first 2 weeks was like all about like meat cravings and like just kind of like craziness, because I would eat a meal and then I wouldn't feel full. But in reality, like looking back, it wasn't that I wasn't full, it was more of the fact that I was craving those other chemicals that are in our food, and my brain was thinking like, oh, I need more, when in reality I was getting all the nutrients I needed. I was full, so I was eating full meals. And then after the 2 weeks, I was like, oh, this is okay. Like my body started to adjust, and it felt like literally like a fog had been lifted, like, and not just like on my physical body, like I felt really light and really like good, but also like mentally, like I felt like I was thinking clearer and just like able to focus more. And at the time also I wanted to go vegan because I heard that it would really be beneficial when taking psychedelics, because a lot of times we get that like nauseated feeling, and I heard that not eating meats and dairy would really help your psychedelic trips in like a positive way, and it totally does, just saying. And yeah, and then like in 2 weeks I lost like 10 to 15 pounds, somewhere between that, and not trying. Like I was eating really unhealthy, like veggie burgers and pasta and all kinds of just like whatever I wanted to eat. And I was eating a lot of food, because in the beginning, like I said, like your body's getting used to it. But yeah, I totally dropped like 10 or 15 pounds. It was somewhere around there, I don't remember exactly. And I had like such a better like digestion. Like when I was like eating meat and dairy, like this is kind of gross, but like I would like only poop like twice a week, and that is like not normal at all. Like you should be going like 2-3 times a day, like minimum. Like that is normal digestion. Like every time you eat, it should be like going through, whereas like meat and dairy is really hard for our body to like break down, and so it just gets stuck in our intestines. Ugh, that is so gross. Anyways, so yeah, I felt like a lot happier because my intestine was a lot happier and my body felt really great and light. So fast forward, now I've been vegan for like almost 5 years. This April is going to be 5 years, and now I kind of always challenge myself because I feel like being raw is really like the healthiest way, because in the beginning you eat all like the fake meats and like all those types of things, and just to like replace and like get rid of like the cravings. But then as you keep going, like it's time to like, let's level up a little bit, and then that's when you start bringing in like raw. And like, I'm gonna be real with you guys, like I tried being raw for like a week or two, and it is just so hard. And I'll be honest, like I'm not ready for it yet, but like I try to be as raw as possible. So like in the morning I'll always start with like a big smoothie, and I'll just try and get like all the nutrients that I need in there, you know, like chia seeds, lots of spinach, lots of greens, hemp seeds, all that stuff. I just blend it in with some fruit, and it's different all the time. You guys should check out my Instagram if you guys want to see those. I post them every single day. But yeah, so starting out with that morning smoothie has really helped me kind of feel good, and then also it keeps you full like almost throughout the whole day. And then I pretty much eat whatever, and then if I'm out and about, like I'll try and get like the raw option, or as unprocessed as possible. So eventually, I promise you guys, I'll probably be like raw, but like I'm just not ready for it right now. But yeah, start with vegan. And a lot of people tell me like, oh, you just went straight from being a meat eater to being vegan and not vegetarian. And yeah, like what is the point? I don't understand. Like, you know, if you feel like really like you can't cut out those things, okay, get there. But then, you know, make that switch quickly, because the industry, the meat and dairy industry is not, you know, if you're vegetarian, you're still funding that. And so that was like really where it started for me. At first it was all about the animals. When I seen the way that they were being treated in all these documentaries, I was disgusted. I just thought like, what is humanity to think that like we can like just destroy all these other animals' lives and for us to like be satisfied for a meal? Like that just doesn't, it didn't add up to me, and I didn't feel like I couldn't have a clear conscience eating meat and dairy, like just for that little bit of satisfaction. So to me, it wasn't worth it. And it was all about the animals in the beginning. And then as I progressed, it became more about the environment and just learning about how much water is used in order to like feed the animals that we're then going to slaughter. And you know, not to be graphic, but that's what it is. Like we're slaughtering them. Like they go into a slaughterhouse. Like think about that. Like that's kind of fucked up. Anyways, so yeah, it was, and then it became all about the environment and like just like the amount of land that has to be used in order just to like feed like the cattle and livestock. It's just like it's not ethical, and it's just wrong. Okay, and so that now I would say that it's kind of evolved. Like those things are definitely like still in my mind, and that's still a large part of why I'm vegan. But now I just remind myself that it's not necessary. Like I've gotten to this far in my vegan journey, and I'm still alive. I'm not sick. I'm super healthy. I feel great, and I don't get sick as often as I once did. I used to get sick all the time. I used to have headaches. So something that I wanted to talk about is when I first went vegan, I felt like I had to like preach about veganism to like everybody I know, family included. Sorry fam if you're watching. But yeah, I feel like it's something that everyone kind of goes through, and it's called like the vegan, I like to call it the vegan ego. And it's kind of just like, we know that like as a vegan, like we're doing a lot for humanity, and we're going through like this whole other thing in order to help the planet and help the animals. And so we feel like everyone should be doing that, and if you're not doing that, like what's wrong with you? But it's really important to not preach, because honestly, like when I was doing that and like talking down on people, like they're never gonna hear that. So I've learned that you know, and at the time, like when I first went vegan, like my family like made fun of me and, you know, would talk about the food I eat and all this. And I think my mom even told me recently, like she thought it was just going to be a phase. And, you know, like fast forward like 4 or 5 years later, she's like, okay, they're probably going to stay vegan. And they've actually been like really supportive of it now. But in the beginning, when there's such a drastic change, like a lot of people feel like you're talking down on them, which you're not, but it can come off that way really easily. So I've learned in being vegan, like the best way to like make a change for other people is to share the vegan love. And so that to me is like making people really awesome vegan food and bringing it over and just like sharing your cooking and like sharing ideas and really focusing on like the smaller things. Like we always try to like get people to go vegan, and like maybe like not everyone's ready for that, just like I'm not ready to go completely raw right now. Just encouraging people for like a vegan meal, because that one vegan meal every day can turn into a whole day or a whole week or a whole month or a year, or just being vegan. And so really just encouraging people in a more positive way is I found gets the best response from friends and family. Usually with friends you can be a little bit more hard on them. Like I've had friends that stay with me and I'm like, you cannot cook meat in my house, I'm sorry, but if you want to eat meat, whatever, that's your prerogative, but you ain't doing that in my house. And you know, some people have told me like that's harsh, but like I'm sorry, that's something that I really stand for, and it's just a thing of respect. So everyone's obviously free to their own whatever they want to do, but not in my house. I'm sorry, that was ridiculous. The last few Thanksgivings have been kind of like for me, because I know everything that, you know, Thanksgiving really is. Like it was just horrible what was done to the Native Americans. And so, you know, this last Thanksgiving, I've kind of been thinking like, okay, this is the last one. I'm not going to do it anymore, because it's kind of hard, because, you know, Thanksgiving with my family, even though, you know, we don't celebrate like, you know, that much, it's just my immediate family, and we come together and we tell each other like everything that we're really thankful for of each person. And so I didn't want to like cut that out completely, but like this year I'm really taking a stand. But we said that this is going to be our last year celebrating Thanksgiving, and we told my family that. And you know, every year, slowly but surely, more and more people are eating all of the vegan food that we're making for Thanksgiving. And so this year I kind of like brought it up to my parents. I said, you know, if you guys want, I'll cook all the food, and you know, you don't have to cook any of it, but it all has to be vegan. And so my mom was like, okay, obviously she's the one that's like doing all the cooking. And my dad was like, well, you know, we can make everything vegan, but I still want to have a turkey. And I was not really happy about it, but I just said, okay, fine, whatever. And then I think he started realizing like, oh, like my brother usually eats the vegan stuff with us, and so that's already like 3 out of 6. And so anyways, it's usually just, you know, everyone is kind of like eating ours, and I think more of our stuff gets eaten, and then there's like all these leftovers of like the non-vegan stuff, so they're kind of with it. So the day of, we were like stressing, trying to get everything ready, and like it's a lot, like there's a lot to make like that much food all at once. And we showed up and we were just like, you know, Dad, you know, how long until the turkey's ready, because we wanted to know like when to have everything ready by. And they were like, oh, we're not having a turkey, like we're doing all vegan. And I was like so shocked, like it literally brought me to tears that like my family was willing to do that. And even though it's exactly what I wanted, I was still like, wow, like I was really like touched by it, because they don't really see it as like just the animals at that time. I think they felt like they were doing it for me, but either way I was happy. No animals were slaughtered for us. And yeah, so I wanted to tell that story just because even though I'm not going to be celebrating Thanksgiving anymore, it was a great way and kind of like a blessing from the universe. Like when I made that decision, okay, like I'm not going to be celebrating anymore, this is the last one, to kind of like do it for my family. I was blessed. And so, you know, just stick with it. If you are vegan out there, just stick with it. Like it's okay, whatever your family says, who cares? It's honestly just like them feeling like inferior or whatever, because I don't know why, but like people have this like idea in their head that like because we're vegan, we instantly think that we're like greater than everyone. We have superpowers, which like, let's be real, we kind of do. But really, yeah, so just be mindful that like a lot of times it's not you that they're like angry towards or making fun of. It's really like their own insecurities that they're just trying to like make light of the situation. So it's really important to like not take offense to it, and I can just kind of like laugh it off now. But it doesn't really happen anymore. And so that's like me and my journey, and it's brought me so much blessings. And like honestly, like, being vegan has made like life so much more interesting. There's this awesome app that I use. It's called Happy Cow. I'm not like sponsored by them or anything. This app is just literally like the most legit thing that's ever happened. So pretty much, I'll just show you guys. So when you go onto the app, it shows all the different options. I usually like always click vegan, and it'll show you like everything that's vegan that's nearby. So nearby me, and it'll show you like the list. Or you can click the top and you can see like a map. So yeah, it's really cool, and then it's great for whenever you're traveling or out and about. You can like find new vegan spots, or like it also shows it's like vegan. It shows like vegan, vegetarian stores, everything. So like even if you're not in like a really popular area where there's like Whole Foods and Veggie Grill and like all these like cool like vegans, I don't know why those are the only two that came to my mind, or like Sage, etc. Like all these like dope spots that are like in LA and like in Santa Monica. Like there's like, when you're out in the middle of like nowhere, you can still find somewhere. And like also when you're traveling and stuff, like even when I go back to England or anything like that, I can always find vegan and vegetarian options, and it's made life a lot easier. And yeah, just like be patient with yourself. Don't set like expectations that you can't fulfill. Like if you're living with family still that like does eat meat, I'm not gonna lie to you, like it is hard, but just be patient and like keep going, because you're making an impact. And if you mess up and you accidentally eat something that's not vegan or whatever happens, forgive yourself and just keep on being vegan, or try it. And if you are watching this and you've always wanted to go vegan and you've not felt like you've been able to, let me tell you, it is a lot easier than you think, especially once you get through like all those like meat cravings and addiction. Like it's literally like a drug that we're all addicted to, and like everyone just kind of ignores. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and hopefully you learned a little something about what it's like to be vegan and what my journey was like, and hopefully this inspired you, even if it's just for that one meal or that one day, like picking a day through the week to go vegan. That's really awesome. If anyone has similar stories or funny stories, please comment below. I'm gonna put a few of the links below that really helped me, like Vegucated, Cowspiracy, a few other of the documentaries and stuff like that that are really awesome. Some great seasonings that I like to add to my food to give them a little bit more flavor. I'm gonna add all that in the description below, so be sure to check those out. And if you're digging me and my channel, subscribe. Thank you guys, thank you. Videos every week.
I'm just fine, how you living? Everything's all good, tell me why are you tripping? Things is good, gotta love more when you're living. You gotta love